Incoming transmission.
Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's the 27th of September, and I'm looking at Darkwing Duck on the Nintendo Entertainment System. As you can see here, there's a little intro. I'm talking over it because there's not really anything to worry about, audio-wise. Who remembers Darkwing Duck, by the way? Do you remember watching this show? I actually don't, and this is the first time I've ever loaded this game up, so expect crap gameplay from the offset. But you know what? It's all about how the game plays, how it sounds, how it controls. That's all that matters. Anyway, we're going to be cracking on with this game very shortly. So we've got to basically pick up items and stuff. And so we can... Oh, that's cool. So we can choose which location we want to start from, which is always nice. I'm going to start on the bridge, because why not? It's a bridge over troubled waters, so we're going to fly across there. Right. Okay, so let's get stuck in and see how we get on. I am Darkwing Duck. There you go. Okay, cool. So we got jump, shoot, and... Oh, you can hang off platforms. That's quite nice. This very reminds me of some of the other Disney games, like DuckTales. Sorry, completely. My mind just went completely blank then. DuckTales and Chip and Dale, basically in the same ilk. I think this is Capcom as well, so I can sort of see where the similarities are coming from there. It's really quite smooth, actually. I'm quite impressed so far. So you can shoot the bad guys, and they drop items. I don't think they need to actually collect those. I think gold bars and stuff like that, I think. I can't actually get on top of that. That's weird. Okay, unless there's a precision jump needed there. I can't seem to get onto there. Let's just try again. No. Okay, moving on. No, still can't get up there. Never mind. Let's crack on and see how we get on. Oh, I can't jump on top of... Oh, no. Oh, what a... Oh, amazing. Cartoon face of death. Yes. So, it looks like you start from the start of the level again. I don't know whether it will change later if you get further on into the level. Does it give you a new restart point? Because at the present, it gives you that restart point at the moment. So, I guess we'll find out. Now, the animation is very nice. I got to say, I was very impressed with Chip and Dale. And, obviously, DuckTales as well. So, this is much more like Mega Man, actually, than previous efforts, and just basically because of the music's really cool. I like the music a lot. It does remind me of Mega Man quite a lot. The jumping and shooting is also very reminiscent of Mega Man, and that's not a bad thing because Mega Man is a bloody good game. So there we go. So yeah, basically you've got to reach. It's like an point A to point B platform game. And that's not a bad thing either, because platform games are quite good. I love the animations on Darkwing himself. That's really, really nice. And the fact he uses his cape. You can duck, you can jump, and hold ledges, and shoot, by the way. Controls are incredibly tight, by the way. You haven't got much to go wrong here. The only thing I will say is trying to get up off the ledges can be a bit of an issue, but we're going to persevere. She's doing alright here. She's... because I've never played it before, so... oh, yeah, so precision jumping needed to hold onto the hooks, or that happens. Oops. And we're back at the start again. So there must be some restart points somewhere, unless these levels aren't very big, in which case I did warn you that I probably wouldn't be doing very well. But, you know, I will do my best to bring you the review that you deserve. So, yeah, so far, animation's great. The soundtrack's thumping. Love that. Animation wise, fantastic. The graphics are really nice as well for the NES. It does these sort of games incredibly well, I have to say. Now, as you are fully aware, if you are no stranger to the channel, that I had a Nintendo Entertainment System when I was younger. And yes, I was always in Team Nintendo. And it's only been in recent years where I've actually started to appreciate Sega systems a little bit more. I still prefer Nintendo, if I'm brutally honest, but that's only because I prefer the controllers, and I actually prefer the sound. I know that sounds a really silly thing, but sound to me in a game can make or break. Some of the sound on the Master System, for example, is quite tinny sounding. It doesn't have any sort of bass to it, whereas the Nintendo games always seem to have this sort of bass, nice meaty, thumpy soundtrack going on. You know, it's always good. So, yeah. So that's the only reason really that I'm in. Oh, I was close. That I favour the Nintendo consoles. The gameplay's, you know, neither here nor there really. There weren't much differences between the consoles game-wise, but I guess it's all personal preference at the end of the day, isn't it, guys? But yeah, this is fun, and you know, to me, a game should be fun. And if the game's not fun, and to be fair, cartridge games were not cheap. You're talking UK prices. You were talking about £45 for a Nintendo cartridge. That's not cheap at all. You know, that's like 4 months of a subscription to a pay-as-you-play game, realistically, in today's money anyway. But yeah, games weren't cheap, so you know, if you've got a bit of a clanger, which you know, not all games are great, and if you'd spent a lot of money, I remember spending $49.99 on Primal Rage on the Super Nintendo, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I thought it was a pile of cack. But there's going to be people out there that loved Primal Rage and think it's the dog's danglies. But I unfortunately am not one of those people. So yes, you had to be careful back in the day, because if you spent a lot of money, there wasn't any guarantee the shop would actually refund you if you just because you didn't like it. I know that Electronics Boutique, that later became Game, I have worked for both companies, would refund you if you didn't like it after before a certain set time period had expired. I think it was 10 days or something like that. Anyway, that was always a nice thing. Now, we used to have a shop in our local city called Future Zone, which then later became Electronics Boutique, which later became Game, and they used to have like a SNES and Mega Drive and that all set up, and you could just go to the counter and ask to demo a game, and they'd come and plug it in and you could play the game. I remember seeing Rock and Roll Racing for the first time there, which I have actually reviewed on this channel. Anyway, that's a really good way forwards, because you can test the game before you take it home. Unfortunately, a lot of the time now you can't do that. You have to buy the game and hope to God it's good, because even now, talking to account, let's say Spider-Man on the PS4 is 50 quid. Thankfully, that game absolutely rocks. So I'm, you know, but, you know, if it sucked and you couldn't get your money back. Anyway, I digress. I've gone on to PlayStation 4. We're back to Darkwing Duck. So yeah, you can see here there's a challenging enemy that you have to time your attacks, otherwise he will avoid them. Little slug there. I quite like the graphic, very, very cartoony. I love the fact that it's very reminiscent of the cartoon series as well. That's always good when the creators of the game actually take note of the source material. Always a good thing. And yeah, and the only thing is that the respawn rate there, you just go off the screen slightly and come back and he's been redrawn. Other than that, there's not much to complain about in this game. It is very good, very tongue-in-cheek humour as well. Always like that. And yes, I'm still on stage 1, so I'm not going to make any apologies, because you can see what the game's like. If you do enjoy what you're looking at here, I'm sure you'll go off and get yourself a copy of Darkwing Duck. This looks like a boss fight. Okay, so I can drop down ledges, and I think I've got to shoot him. Yeah. Oh, okay, I go up the ledge, he goes up the ledge. I see how it is. Anyway, by doing that and avoiding whatever those are he's throwing... Oh, this is quite tricky, actually. Right. Never mind. I'll give this another go. Other than that, you've been watching Darkwing Duck on this episode of the Retro Revival Show. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's a bit later than I normally put my reviews up, but never mind. That's fine. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, chuck us a like and share and all that stuff. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because your support is great and very much appreciate it, considering I do this for free. I don't monetize my vids or anything like that. This is just purely for my love of retro gaming and bringing it to you, the masses of retro gamers out there. So Great stuff. Anyway, keep it retro. I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.